Morning. So we're talking about London being a successful international city, and we remain actually the third most visited, third highest international visitors of any city in the world. Quite what our visitors this week are making of the union-induced transport chaos is anyone's guess. But an important part of being a successful international city is obviously the hospitality industry, to welcome and feed and help those people enjoy their time here. Over the summer, we've seen continued job losses thanks to Labour's jobs tax. 90,000 jobs lost in hospitality across the UK. We know that many of those will be in London. It's such a big part of our economy. Why aren't you opposing Labour's damaging jobs tax?
What's the jobs tax?
The national insurance increase, which is cited by many businesses, and particularly by hospitality businesses, for the damage that it is doing to their trade.
Well, I can talk about hospitality and the wider economy. In terms of hospitality, the latest figures from the Nighttime Industry Association shows an increase in venues over the last year. And in central London, an increase by 10%, across London by 4%. And in terms of unemployment more widely, going back over the last 25 years, the London rate of unemployment has been around 1 or 2 percentage points higher than national. So it's in line now with what it's been for the last 25 years.
So the hospitality industry says that urgent action is needed because Chancellor Rachel Reeves' autumn budget disproportionately harmed their industry, but you're saying they're wrong. So let's look wider. Over the summer, we've also seen the Institute of Chartered Surveyors. They survey all businesses, not just hospitality. This is now across the board. They produced over the summer their latest business confidence monitor. I quote, "April's rise in employers' national insurance contributions has been a major concern for businesses in the capital, with the proportion of businesses citing the tax burden as a growing challenge reaching a survey record high of 57% in Q2 2025. 3 times the historic average. All businesses in London are saying that this is a problem. And what, you're defending the government's NI increase? Why aren't you standing up for these London businesses and the people that they employ and the people they no longer employ because they've lost their job?"
So we can both hurl stats at each other. London's economic inactivity is lower than most of the regions across the country. Wage growth last year was the fastest since 2005. London is number 1 in Europe and number 3 globally for life sciences investment in our city. In research innovation, we're now number 2, on the cusp of getting to number 1 behind Boston. Our business environment is number 2 globally, just behind New York. We've overtaken San Francisco, New York and Boston in terms of life sciences cluster. Look, he can talk down London as much as he wants. It sounds a bit like reform. I'm going to talk up London and the reasons why we're the best place in the world to do business in.
So 57% of London businesses say that Labour's tax on jobs is a huge problem, but the mayor says they're wrong, so people can choose who they believe. You mentioned life sciences. You've probably seen the news this week, Merck scrapping a £1 billion investment that was already underway. It had been underway since 2023. They basically pulled out and they said, and I quote, "Simply put, the UK is not internationally competitive." This was underway, started under the Conservatives, has been cancelled under this useless Labour government, and the national insurance jobs tax brought in by disaster Rachel Reeves is a big part of it. Why are you just making excuses and not standing up for investment and jobs in London?
It's disappointing, Merrick's decision, but his question, which I'm sure she'll allow me to answer, is why aren't I standing up for investment in London? So let me address that particular question which he's asked. So this June we had the biggest ever month for business and investment in London for the first time ever. South by Southwest was in Europe and chose London to be the destination. Huge source of investment. You asked why I'm not standing up for investment. Concordia came to London for the first time as part of Concordia Europe Summit. We're the biggest ever London Tech Week, standing up for investment. The biggest ever London Climate Action Week, standing up for investment, green investment. The London Stock Exchange being the Green Financial Centre. Standing up for investment, despite the Tories wanting me to close London Partners has led to their best ever year, securing £677 million inward investment from overseas, standing up for trade and investment. And as a consequence of me standing up for investment, we're number 1 in Europe when it comes to life sciences, which he referred to. Research innovation linked to life sciences, we're close second behind Boston. And according to all objective indicators, we are still the most attractive place to invest in Europe and one of the most in the world.
but it sounds like you've inherited a great legacy from the previous government. What's happening is that hospitality, all businesses across London, and specifically Merck's, are saying that under this Labour government and this Labour mayor, it is a disaster, and you're simply ignoring them and quoting figures. We will see what happens. We will see what happens. But simply quoting figures of what's happened historically is not going to cut the mustard when people are losing their jobs. Thanks, Chair.
I think Garrett's running as well. There's Boff and there's Garrett. Who else is running to be the next Tory candidate for mayor?
This is contemptuous of Londoners who are trying to get to work, losing their jobs, and businesses that are struggling. He just makes it an idiotic and petulant, childish political remark, Chair. It is not good enough, and it does explain why Londoners don't think their mayor is speaking up for them.
Okay, Assembly Member George.